Welcome to Empowered the Podcast. I am your host, Linda Brand. Today's guest started her journey as an entrepreneur by taking a nutrition challenge. I'm really excited for you to hear this story, how she transformed her body by educating herself on nutrition and changing the way she eats. Soon, she was an inspiration to fellow gym members who kept requesting prepared meals. A few orders turned into a few more orders, and the numbers just kept multiplying. Soon she had a side business preparing meals from her home, and quickly it became apparent she had a new full-time gig. With zero experience in the restaurant business and zero experience owning a restaurant, she ventured into this journey. However, she did have experience in management, customer service, and creating a team. With encouragement from her family and friends, she took the leap of faith and created Power Meals by Dawn. She has 2 locations here in Florida, one in Palmetto, one in downtown Lakewood Ranch. This is a powerful story. Enjoy the show. If you like what you hear, please share, subscribe, and review. By the way, her food is amazing. It's all paleo and gluten-free. Enjoy. Hi, Dawn. How are you doing today? Thank you so much for Thank you for joining me and sharing your story. I'm so excited to share these inspirational, motivational stories. I know that your journey to entrepreneurship has started with a nutrition challenge. Can you share a little bit about that and how it all began for you? Power Meals by Dawn.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. So a little bit of backstory for me. I've always been very interested in health and fitness, always have worked out, thought I was eating healthy, thought I was doing the right things. And then I was faced with the opportunity to take part of a nutrition challenge at my gym, which is CrossFit Havoc here in Bradenton. And it was based on a diet called the Whole30. I had major results with it. I've never felt better. And with that, I was investigating what was next, because Whole30 is clearly for 30 days. Although you can continue it, it's pretty strict. And I do like to keep balance and realistic goals as far as nutrition and health goes. And the natural transition from that would have been a paleo diet. So I started doing paleo for myself, and as my fellow gym members were seeing my results and seeing me bring my plate to the gym, I was approached by them to also prepare their meals. And just through word of mouth, I found myself in a very small business that I was doing out of my house initially. And as that grew, I had to, came to a crossroads where I said to myself, okay, either I'm going to quit doing this because this is getting ridiculous, or I'm going to make this a business and I'm really going to go for it. So I started to look for my first brick and mortar and landed here in Palmetto at the Crusader building. And cut to probably a month later, I really outgrew the space very, very quickly. Started gaining staff and decided, okay, we're going to continue to do this, actually make this a business and move forward in a professional way and not just make this like a small word of mouth operation.
Wow.
And that was 5 years ago.
That's so amazing. Yeah. So you started thinking bigger and all of that and, growing, and that's amazing. Can you tell us, what were you doing before? What type of profession?
I come from a world of corporate retail. So I traveled a lot, helped manage those different retail companies, and decided that this was something I could do for myself. And I left that world. So I was really, I really had to take a leap of faith here because, having a corporate job is, although there's definite, let's say, negative things
stress
that can come with that as far as stability, but it was a stable job and career I was in. And then having to then rely on yourself and your own work habits and your own employees and everything to provide a paycheck and to support your life is definitely scary.
Yes.
But I did it, and then here we are.
Yeah, that's incredible. A couple things I wanted to, while you were talking, that came to mind was when you talked about the balance, because, yeah, you can do something for 30 days, but how do you get to continue it? And like you noticed, you're like, I need balance. And that's the thing, for me, keto, I did keto many times, and it's like, it's not something I can keep. It's just not realistic. So balance is huge. And tell us, like, what is most of the foods that you have at your, Power Meals by Dawn? It's paleo?
Yeah. So what works for me, and kind of, I guess, what we have hung our hat on per se with Power Meals, is providing a paleo friendly menu. And paleo is a diet that eliminates all gluten, soy, dairy, refined sugars, legumes, grains, preservatives. So it's a very clean diet that is going to only have healthy fats, fruit and veggies, more veggies than fruit, and clean proteins. So over and beyond that, we really pay attention to macros to make sure that what we're providing is a very balanced plate of food. So we know that having a healthy amount of fats will satiate you. Having the correct amount of carbohydrates will, let's say, complement your activity levels, whether it's low or high activity levels, because we all, exercise and move differently through our day. So we have a range of that, but then the protein is generally the same. So that when we make the menu, we're always very conscious of providing a very balanced offering of macronutrients beyond the paleo diet. So going forward, we have introduced some plant-based meal options, and paleo is always our backbone. We will also offer some just clean eating options in the near future. So as we've grown into another space, we have the kitchen space and can handle the workload to extend what we currently offer. So I'm very excited about that.
It's amazing. I love that. I love the food I've had so far. It's all been very, very good. And the more I learn about nutrition and start looking at ingredients, I'm looking at these little protein shakes I was buying that, they're only 150 calories and they have all this protein. And then it's like, whoa, 340 milligrams of sodium, or this cottage cheese that's 80 calories and all this protein, but it has all this sodium. I'm like, no, this is not healthy. It's not good. And yeah, paleo's the way. I mean, at least for me, I am gluten-free, and I was 3 years vegetarian and gluten-free and dairy-free. And then now I'm gluten-free and pescatarian, and I'm just kind of flexitarian, but I love places like yours because it just makes it so much easier for the busy professional or for the, person. I'm not going to say lazy, but I mean, honestly, you're providing an amazing service, and it's just incredible.
Thank you. I would say that our goal, when we're able to have the opportunity to educate our guests with what we offer, is to encourage focusing on the long game here. This is not we're not providing a quick weight loss diet. This is a way of eating that will hopefully create the habit of looking at your plate of food in front of you and saying, oh, that's not the right amount. I need more protein. I need less this. I need more that to make this feel balanced. And you do that after habitually doing it right for so long, then you can understand when it's not right. So balance is huge. Paleo is not the answer for everybody, and that's completely fine. Finding what's right for you, whether it's keto, whether it's pescatarian, whether it's vegetarian, whether it's the carnivore diet, whatever it is, I do believe in intuitive eating. So there's times personally where my body literally craves citrus, or craves beef, or
Mm-hmm.
I crave something salty and crunchy, so when you're craving things, listen to it. I'm not saying when you're craving a donut, that's a
Mm-hmm.
different type of craving.
Right.
But when you become very in tune with your health and your body, listen to those cravings and do it. There is something to intuitive eating to give your body what it needs, and there might be weeks that go by where you've just not been getting that certain nutrient in your diet, and you'll know it. Maybe your skin changes, maybe your digestion doesn't feel quite right, maybe you're
Mm-hmm.
just cranky, maybe whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
listen to it, and go find it, and provide it for yourself without having supplements to do that for you. I really believe that with correct diet and nutrition, you don't need to have all the extra supplements to get through the day. Not that there's anything wrong with it, not that I don't do it myself sometimes, but the goal is to actually get nutrients from what you're eating every day.
Exactly. I know I started doing these meals from a different place before, and there was still some salt in there, but I was satiated, and that's a huge, huge thing. In the vegetarian diet, I love eating plant-based, but honestly, I'm not satiated. I'm often hungry, and then I'm overeating. And, I was listening to this
Yes.
podcast the other day. Hal, I forgot his last name, but he had cancer and he cured himself. I mean, he recovered and got healthy. And so he says, this is a lifestyle, and he chooses things he loves to eat. Like, he has this amazing smoothie for breakfast that he absolutely loves. He has this huge, beautiful
Mm-hmm.
salad that he's mastered, and he loves his food. And then dinner is, his protein. And it's like, I love that. Like, just loving what you're eating. Like, we're all, um, what's the word I'm looking for? We're sensual beings. Like, we want to enjoy what we're eating, and like, your food is very delicious. So I think
Thank
that's
you.
super important. Like, we don't have to call it a diet and restrict. It's like, this is like yummy,
Right.
healthy food, right?
And then you have the peace of mind, right? That of what you are eating for your meals is something that's good for you and
Exactly.
tastes good and is enjoyable. But having the peace of mind of I did something right today for my health is
Hmm.
unmeasurable, really.
Exactly. I mean, self-care and health is wealth. Like, I had an interview with someone else, and like, health is wealth. I'm sorry. It's like, you can have $10
Yes,
billion
it is.
and if you are in a hospital bed or you are in a wheelchair, I'm just saying, like, that's health
Yeah.
is wealth. And for me, it's been a priority because I had my own health challenges back in 11 and 12 that I battled for 4 years. And it's a whole story, and it's a whole other podcast, but truly, the blessing that came from that was I learned to take care of myself, and I cut out alcohol for 2.5 years. And today I'm also alcohol free. And I share this because to me, it's a toxin, and I don't really, I'm not trying to, that's a whole other thing. But ultimately, my health is worth everything to me. And so
It is
eating
the
is,
best investment.
yeah, yeah, it's worth it. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, yeah, it's just been a priority, and exercise and eating well. So what started you on your journey of health, or have you just been always one of those that exercised and ate well, or like, what prompted you, like, in the gym? Like, have you always been in the gym, or like, tell me your little bit of backstory, if you
But
will.
yeah, so I mean, okay, I'll go way back and tell you that as a child, my dad actually was a competitive bodybuilder. So he had a little gym, and I was in there messing around as a kid. So I was familiar with how you look when you work out versus what you look like when you don't, take care of yourself or work out or whatever. And I wanted the latter. So from a teenager, like as soon as I could join a gym, I joined a gym. I wish that I knew a little bit more about nutrition at a younger age than I do now. And who knows what I would have done, but it's always been a part of my life. If I'm not taking care of myself, I'm stressed out. I feel like I've done something wrong. It gives me anxiety. Not that I get it right every day. I'm a human. I'm definitely not perfect with it. And I definitely, like everyone else, overindulge on the holidays and my birthday and sometimes on a girls' night out. But I recognize it. And then the next day, I'm going to reel it in and try to find my balance again. I recognized at an early age the difference between taking care of yourself and not taking care of yourself. And it just always interests me. And like I said, it's just been a part of who I am and a part of my natural routine day to day to do something right for myself as far as health and fitness goes. Definitely, and again, this is a whole nother podcast, but definitely had my own health problems. And now I do not, word I'm looking for, I do not
take for granted.
Yeah, take for granted. Thank you. Take for granted when I feel good. So when you don't, you think, oh man, I wish I could just get up and do a little laundry. I wish I could just go walk. I wish I could just go, run to the store real quick. Or, forget exercise. If you're sick or unwell to a certain degree, you can't even do your daily. So
exactly.
I definitely do not take that for granted anymore, and understand like mind, body, spirit, all of it needs to be aligned. Do what you can every day, whether it's nutrition, meditation, exercise, whatever. Do something that's going to improve your health and reduce anxiety, and then you'll win.
Yeah.
But that's my why, I would say. And again, I love to have the opportunity whenever guests come in to educate them a little bit. I just keep giving them little snippets here and there on macros, on eating healthy, on getting rid of all the fake stuff. Don't eat it out of a box, like that kind of little snippets of info here and there that I can just give somebody that will change their life, And if you're in the health industry, that lingo, that language is very natural. Words like macro, words like paleo, words, with anything around health, exercise, diet, whatever, is very natural for that world. But for the majority of human beings, it's not. It really goes right over their head because there's so much information out there to navigate, and you just want someone just tell me what to do. There's just, you can read so many articles about the same thing and it's going to give you 10 different answers.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Whenever I can just, tell them simple stuff as they're walking in, I feel good about that.
Yeah.
Free information, take it with you. Use it.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of it is people are just they're eating unconsciously. That's what's happening left and right, center.
Yes.
But they don't realize how food is medicine, and a couple things.
Goodness.
Yeah. And then I had a question for you. We can go into the food as medicine, but are you spiritual? I am very spiritual, and my podcast guests are often spiritual, and it's just interesting. And you mentioned body, mind, spirit, and you mentioned meditation and different things. So I'm just asking if you have a spiritual practice that you do.
Absolutely. I am very spiritual. I have taken on the practice of meditation and just breathing practices. And that was birthed from my own health issues I've dealt with 2-3 years ago. So, and I know when I'm not doing those things that I see the difference in myself. So that comes from being very in tune with my own body. And I definitely take those first few moments in the morning quietly to breathe, meditate, think, read a devotion, and then go about my day. I used to sleep to the very last second, hit snooze, jump up, jump in the shower, go, go, go. And now I take my time. I set my alarm for enough time that I can allow those moments in the early morning to do what I need to do so I feel good.
Exactly.
And
yeah, the most successful people,
the work will be there.
Yeah, the statistics are the most successful people, millionaires, billionaires, have a morning practice. So you are absolutely on that, doing that as well. I do too. If I don't do those things, and a lot of them are what you name, the meditation, the journaling, the reading something positive or, inspirational, and breathing and intentional breathing, and just setting yourself up to win for the day, and setting yourself, grounding yourself, you notice the difference, and it just isn't the same. And it's just a powerful practice to do. So I'm glad to hear that you do it. And then I just was also going to say, you had mentioned, that you treat yourself now and then, when you go out with friends or it's your birthday. And I totally believe in that. I feel like years ago, after I had my son, which is like 24 years ago, I used to watch Denise Austin. I don't know if you know who she is. Do you know who she is?
I do.
Oh, isn't that wild?
I do.
Yeah,
I know exactly
because you're around my
is.
age. Yeah, we're about the same age.
Yeah.
Anyway, I used to do her little workouts, and she'd always give tips, and she'd say, eat well 80% of the time and have your treats 20%, because she's like, when you deny yourself, then you binge. But like, I love that, because eating well 80%, and then now and then, you can have things, but your basically lifestyle is healthy and overall, and then you have your, birthday or whatever it is.
One thing from that same era, because I watched that, and I watched a lot. I think it was like Bodies in Motion or something. And then Corey Everson, who was Miss Olympia. I remember her during her video, which all these were like set in some beautiful island in Hawaii, back then. And she said that she ate, she meal prepped, of course, and did, back then it was chicken, rice, and broccoli. Like, that's how you prepped, and that was it. For the most part, there's other things, but that was just the most popular, simple way to go. But she said every day she had a Snickers bar. And that stuck with me. I'm like, she is Miss Olympia, and she does not miss her Snickers bar every day. And that was just, that was 25 years ago. And I remember that episode, her saying that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And she's lifting weight. Yeah. She's lifting every day.
Oh, yeah.
And so she's
in the world.
She's burning. And maybe it was a miniature. Was it a miniature? Was it a miniature Snickers bar?
I don't know, but it was still a Snickers, and she was the best in the world, so I don't think it mattered.
Right? It's stuck in your head. Absolutely. Yeah, Denise used to always say things like, she'd say, close the kitchen, and she'd say, if you're going to eat at night, eat protein. I mean, she always gave little tips. Yep. And she was ahead of her time with the traveling and working from, anywhere, beautiful places. But this has been a great conversation. Is there anything else you wanted to share with the audience, and then we'll find out where they can find you and get their meals?
Yeah, the only other thing I would say about what we offer is our menu. I get asked this quite often, especially since we've just opened our second location there in Lakewood Ranch, is how do we come up with our menus? And the answer is this. The way I like to explain our menu is comfort food made healthy. So I think about what I want to eat, but how can I turn that into something that's paleo friendly or a healthier version of that? So that's really it. Just same way you would go plan your meals with your family at home. What am I going to cook tonight? We do the same thing, but we do it just on a very larger scale. So that is how we come up with our menus. I definitely don't want the idea to be, or the impression to be, that, I'm gonna buy food here when I'm on a diet or when I'm doing good, and then when I'm not, I'm gonna go eat this other stuff. Our food, our menu options are good, and they're also filling, and they are going to mimic a lot of the comfort food or family favorites that you have at home. So it's just how we prepare it, the amounts of what we prepare, and just the different combinations that would give you that balanced macro plate. Or plate balanced in macros, I'd say. So that's really how we come up with our menus.
That's awesome. I know that I was saying before I hit record, I met someone who knew you and she was like, the food is amazing. She has the best salads. And I had said, you made me the best smoothie the other day, that green smoothie that had turmeric in it and it tasted so good. I think it was like a creamsicle or something. Yeah, it was delicious. And you took your time. And she's like, she's a hard worker. I noticed that right away from you that you're a hard worker, but beautiful locations. And tell people where they can find you, Dawn.
We are, if you come to our storefronts, we are located in Palmetto, right inside the Crusader building, which is at 323 10th Avenue West. If you're familiar with Regatta Point, we're across the street. So we're right on the other side of the bridge here in Palmetto. Yeah. Our Lakewood Ranch store is on Main Street in Lakewood Ranch. That's unit 104. If you wanted to pre-order online, that's at mypowermeals.com. And we have 2 pickups a week. We change our menu every week. And you can also inquire about custom meal plating if you have some very specific dietary needs. We do cater to that as well. On Instagram, it's My Power Meals. And I think that's about it.
Awesome. I will put all the links in the show notes. Thank you for your time today. This has been an incredible, beautiful conversation. I love talking about health and wellness, and I can do it forever. And I can talk on and on and on about this.
Yeah, me too.
I know. Have a wonderful day. Wasn't Dawn's story inspiring? Don't you just love hearing about these stories where people followed their passion and created a new business? It's just very inspiring. I love sharing that. I also love sharing health and wellness with you. If you mention the podcast Empowered, you will receive 10% off when you shop at Power Meals in downtown Lakewood Ranch or Palmetto. She has a delivery service as well. And just mention Empowered the podcast and you will get 10% off your order. Thanks for listening. If you have any feedback, I'd love your review. Have a wonderful day. All the links will be in the show notes.